Virginia Senator Tim Kaine stopped by our studios today to talk with our very own Bruce DuPoit on News Talk.
Yeah, and we're so glad that he could stick around a little bit later and chat with us, too.
Yeah.
So welcome to Let's Talk Live, Senator Tim Kaine.
Glad to be with you. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday to you. I love how we're just sitting here kind of chit-chatting. You guys are talking about your kids, talking about where I'm from, right down the road there in Hampton.
Well, we want to get to know you a little better today.
You bet.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I remember you were the mayor of Richmond, then you were the governor of the great state of Virginia, and here you are, U.S. Senator.
I mean, I can't keep a job.
Yeah. But how did you get started in politics?
You know, I grew up in a really non-political family, but I married into a pretty political family. My wife's dad was the first Republican governor of Virginia, Linwood Holton, 1970 to 74. And so maybe I learned, well, politicians are just like everybody else.
Yeah.
I practiced law in Richmond for 10 years and got mad at my city council one day, ran my first race in 1994, and that's how it all started.
Wow.
And it's been kind of an accidental career. A couple of times I was on my way out after I was mayor, but then and I ran for lieutenant governor. I was on my way out after being governor. President Obama asked me to serve as national party chair. So I've had some starts and stops, but I really have loved it. And Virginia's such a cool state to be in politics in. Yeah. Thanks, so Hampton native.
Right.
Yeah.
757 right here. So it's kind of nice. You kind of got the bug, and you're a prime example of how your voice makes a difference. I'm always telling people that, like, you know, we worked hard to get the right to vote. We have that right. Make your voice heard, and that's kind of what you did. You know, not per se voting-wise, but you wanted to make a difference in the community, and you just kind of stepped right up and kept that going.
Yeah, and then local offices. I mean, there's so many school boards and local offices that, you know, that desperately need good people. I do worry that it's getting more and more unlikely that good people run for office, because there's a family sacrifice, financial sacrifice with YouTube and the internet. If you ever do something stupid, and we all will, then it's going to be preserved forever. So, but we got to encourage, you know, people to run for office, because we got a lot of problems to solve, and you got to have good people to solve them.
Yeah, that's true.
You were in law school and took a year off, and you went to Honduras with a missionary group.
Yeah.
Tell us about that experience.
Yeah, I was in the middle of law school and didn't know what I wanted to do, and decided to take a year off to kind of get to know myself better and think about it. And this was in 1980, and I decided to go work with Jesuit missionaries in Honduras. My dad was a welder and iron worker, had a manufacturing shop, and so I went down and I took over and ran a vocational school for kids in, you know, what was one of the poorest countries in the Western Hemisphere. But I really developed a real passion for public service because of that year. The missionaries I worked with and the kids and families I got to know really made a huge impression on me, and every day I think about that. I was actually just back at the mission school I worked at 2 months ago. My wife and I have been longtime supporters of the program, so that experience really probably is the one thing that put me on the path to public service.
And did you know Spanish before you went there, or did you learn it there?
Like a lot of people, I had taken high school Spanish, and so I knew how to a verb, but I'd never really spoken.
I was going to ask you, can you still speak?
I speak. Cada día hablo español a alguien, porque en Virginia hay un gran número de latinos ahorita.
Oh, I'm impressed.
Look at that show off.
And I'll tell you, secret lesson, if you want to learn a language, immersion with kids is the best way. Because if you immerse with adults, you're nervous about not being perfect. But if you're immersed with kids, you're not nervous, and so it really helps to be able to, and I was with these youngsters, and so, you know, they didn't mind that my Spanish was bad. As long as I taught them some phrases in English, usually like dirty words and stuff, then they were very glad to teach me stuff.
I'm not sure that's appropriate.
Well,
but
it's a family show here.
It is a family show, and we just talked to a wonderful astronaut, Chris Hadfield, and he's a musician, and now I'm finding out that you have a little musical talent as well.
A very little musical talent, actually.
No, I think this is awesome. Harmonica?
Yep. I taught myself to play in 7th grade. I can't read music, but I always wanted to play something, so I taught myself to play.
Right.
And now I've played with Boyd Tinsley of the Dave Matthews Band, Bruce Hornsby and Ricky Skaggs, Dan Tominski Band, Seldom Seen. Virginia has such a great musical tradition that gospel or blues or bluegrass, they will let me play, although my wife says, play when they ask. As soon as you're not in elected office, they're not going to ask anymore.
Did you bring your harmonica with you?
I did indeed. I thought I might have a chance.
Would you?
Yeah, we need you to play. While you're doing that, I have to ask, have you guys thought about starting up the Democratic Party? I mean, you have Clinton on the saxophone, you got the harmonica.
I mean, why not?
I like that. That could be the name of the band.
Debbie Stabenow, the senator from Michigan, she was part of a group called Dale and Debbie and worked her way through college playing music. So we actually have a number of folks who play.
And Martin O'Malley?
Martin O'Malley. I've actually played with Martin before. He's a really good musician and singer. The O'Malley March, his Irish band. So, you know, in our line of work, you got to have a fallback. I mean, you can be you can be turned out tomorrow. So.
And I bet it comes in handy on the campaign trail. You know, you're out there connecting with the local people, and you whip out your harmonica. All right, real quick, we don't have much time. We've got to hear you play.
Okay, so I'm going to play that tune. You guys like rock music?
Sure.
So you like rock? So.
Oh, it's a Beatles song.
Oh, yeah. Love me do.
Yeah.
Love me do. Yeah, that's what it is.
You know I love you.
Will always be true.
There you go.
So please, so that one was a John Lennon that he was taught by Delbert McClinton, and I have one album credit, and I'm on an album with Delbert McClinton.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, my goodness.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us today.
Absolutely. This was fun. This was really fun.
Can you play us out to the break?
Yeah.
Let's see what I can play.